Rumor alert, rumor alert, rumor alert. All right. So I like this one right here. This is intriguing. It's a good boxing matchup. It's a good stylistic matchup, and it also makes the fans wonder. It makes me wonder. Obviously, we got. I don't know how to pronounce this dude's last name, so I'm gonna just say Janibek. We got the ageless wonder, probably PBC's greatest fighter, PBC's crown jewel. No, that's not a picture of Floyd Mayweather. Just for the clarity, Floyd Mayweather is actually a product of Top Rank boxing, right? And then he left Top Rank. And for those who don't know, although Al Heyman did, guide Floyd, he was a Golden Boy fighter. But that's a story for another day. Lara, who's been in a ton of wars. So, this fight, it holds a lot of it holds a golden ticket to it, right? So let me just give you a little rundown. Last month, we had Terrence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez. Terrence Crawford put a spanking on that boy Cinnamon, took his belts, and left him with nothing. Well, not really nothing. He left him with a big check, right? So when it comes to this fight here, we all know, and we're going to speculate that Terrence Crawford is going to move down, right? And 160, he's not just going to take any old fight. He's probably going to go for, what was it, maybe 4 belt undisputed or whatever it is at this point now. We don't know. But Bud is just going after accolades, right? And the quickest way to it is to fight this guy right here who has the WBO and IBF middleweight titles. And then we got Lara, who has the WBA middleweight title. You know what's funny about the WBA middleweight title? The WBA title in general, especially when it comes to PBC, a lot of the PBC fighters have the WBA title. We bout Al. Think about it. Anyways, so what's interesting about this matchup is this. Lara's age is what everybody kind of, questions. And yeah, he's 41-ish, 42-ish, and that's kind of interesting for a middleweight. But let's just be honest. We all know Lara ain't no damn 42. Lara's about 53 years old. He's lied on that birth certificate talking about he's a 40-year-old man. The way that man hair strands is growing, damn well he ain't no 40 years old. But anyways, his age. And then there's other questions too when it comes to Janibek, because there could be cause for concern because we really don't know if he's making his weight comfortably. One of his last fights, he fell out on the scale, and we don't know if he can actually make that weight and maintain it in a healthy way so that he can make this fight and be as impactful as he is. I mean, he's promoted as the next Triple G, right? And if you haven't seen my last video about Triple G, check it out because I've had some choice words about the guy. But yeah, he's looked at as this crusher and he's this unstoppable force, and everybody's been ducking him. So the fact that a 40-year-old guy wants to step up to the plate says a lot. Now, we all thought it was going to be Carlos Adames, but what I do like about this whole scenario is that it really concludes and ends the chapter to the whole mythical sides of the street. Because in order for guys to cross the sides of the street, which would be the promotional sides of the street for y'all that are not aware, I'm supposed to be teaching on this channel, my bad. Sides of the street, mythical sides of the street. You have promoters, they don't do business with each other, yada, yada, yada. Anyways, so it puts an end to the sides of the street because this here, although boxing fans like me, we love to hear about fights like this happening. We all want to see unifications, but for the casual fan, this isn't a fight that really moves the meter. It doesn't really do anything. It probably won't even make the headlines on ESPN or even your local paper. So the fact that these fights are actually getting made and there's really no super astronomical life-changing money behind it means that the sport is kind of moving in the right direction. Or it means that one of these two guys want to cash in that Terrence Bud Crawford ticket and they want a nice little payday when it comes to it too. Now, more than a payday comes to it because Terrence Crawford is a decorated amateur. He's a decorated pro. He has so much legacy behind him. First ballot Hall of Fame. A lot comes with fighting a guy like Bud. So, this matchup, there's a lot at stake, when it comes to it. Now, Carlos Adames can play into this. We thought it would be him in this negotiation. Janibek has been talking a lot of cash when it comes to it, and we don't know what's gonna come, what's in the near future when it comes to those two guys. So, I mean, it's an interesting matchup. Does Lara's age play into this? Does it come into effect? Because he's coming off of a fight with Danny Garcia where he really didn't have to do much. And we all talk about the phantom punch that gave Danny his first knockdown. And we don't know if Lara still has legs under him, right? In order to deal with a guy like Janibek, who is billed as this unstoppable force. He's a robot. He's a machine. He can't be stopped. So we don't know what's really going to happen. So we really just have to tune in and see what it is. If this fight actually gets made. Allegedly, this is a rumor, right? So if it does get made, and I hope it does, it will be interesting to see. And does Janibek have the legs to sustain Lara? Because let's just be honest, his last two fights have been stoppages. I mean, he had the phantom punch with Danny Garcia, and the fight prior to that straight up had a nice highlight reel knockout. Actually, the fight before that too, he had a knockout. So he's really been putting in the work to escape that Cuban myth that these guys don't have the second gear to engage and embrace that killer instinct. They're just cool with winning on points. Lara's legs is kind of gone. He's been in a lot of wars. Let's think about it, people. That fight with Jared Hurd was one of the best fights that I've seen from Lara, period. Even though it was a losing effort, he really was forced to strap his bootstraps, bite down on his gum shield, and really go out there and try to earn a win. I mean, he's been in there with the likes of Paul Williams. He fought Canelo. Man, he's really been in some wars. He's really one of the PBC staples, if you really want to be honest. So a guy like that who's been through all of that, does he really have enough in him to get through a guy who is billed as a monster? And then to go on to face either an Adames and then a Terrence Crawford potentially as an undisputed champion. I think Lara has unified belts at 154. But if he can do all of this, then we really have to start talking about him being a first ballot Hall of Famer and having a Hall of Fame career, because he's never really ducked anybody. He's never avoided anyone. He was one of the few fighters who actually called out Triple G. And for him to unify titles at that age too, it would be something to see. But you guys let me know what you think. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, and spread the word that I'm here. I'm in the YouTube sphere, and we came here to shake things up. You know what I'm saying? We build it from the ground up. You dig? And yeah, let's see if this fight actually gets made. Let's see if it happens, and let's see how it turns out. We can double back if it gets made. We could do a breakdown.